Hey everybody, my name is Erica. I'm a film and TV professional and a film composer, and today I'm going to be sharing 10 anecdotes of my previous experiences when I worked on scripted TV shows for Disney, ABC Studios, and various other production companies. And I'm going to be sharing you my thoughts of where I think Hollywood sucked and when it slayed, so stay tuned. I hope you enjoy. I worked on a Disney Plus holiday special. When we were shooting for this holiday magical special, it was a small budget kind of production, so the production company I was freelancing with at the time, they didn't even have a wagon. Because I was in charge of bringing crafty, all the drinks, and getting the catered lunches, they didn't even have a wagon to provide for me to haul everything. I just hauled everything in my car, and what was I gonna do? Carry it with my hands and break my back? So luckily I had one of those grocery wagons? Well, I brought my personal one, and at the end of the shoot, when we had a bunch of leftover Diet Cokes, waters, heavy things, one of the Disney employees that was on a set with us, because she was with Disney, she was supposed to be there. I don't remember her role, what she looked like, or her name, but she was supposed to be there because she was one of the producers, I think. I overheard her talking with one of her colleagues saying that oh yeah, I paid for this. I need to take this with me. I paid for it. But really, I was the one who went out of my way to buy everything from Whole Foods and haul it to set. I don't know, it was very entitled to me. But the best part was when they borrowed my wagon without asking. It was just there, and she broke it and blamed me for using my personal equipment. But when I found out that my wagon was broken, I forgot who it was another Disney employee or another contract. I think it was a hair and makeup girl. She ran into me in the elevator. She was like, oh yeah, by the way, this person broke your wagon. She did it, meaning don't let her lie to you. So when I confronted this person about it, I was like, you broke my wagon kind of thing. I was like, can you replace it? She was like, I didn't break it. She lied to my face, basically. And then she said, well, you shouldn't be using your personal equipment in the first place. So then I wasn't having it. I was sleepy. I just wanted to finish my day, go home, take a nap. Long story short, they broke my wagon, blamed me. Good job, Disney. And the next one. Same company I was with. I was exploited, as is many, if not all, production assistants. So with this company, I actually found this job on Facebook Marketplace? I don't know. I found it on back when before Facebook had a really organized slew of groups versus Marketplace. I just found a job posting of a production assistant job for this company doing this one show, and they were just gonna do this one special and release it on Disney Plus. It ran for about 2.5 months. The gig was pretty okay. Essentially, they exploited me. I worked unpaid overtime. I was doing way more. I was doing beyond what the job description advertised. Because the thing is, this production company was in a building in Hollywood, and they shared that one building with another company. So the company I was with, the director/CEO shared it with his wife's company. And I ended up doing work for his wife, even though she had her own executive assistant. So one of my favorite things that they had me do was the wife had me send 500 cheesy holiday cards. It was Friday, and I had to do it by end of day because they wanted it out for the weekend. And even though she had her own assistant, they still had me do it. I would overhear them saying, oh, I need to do this, blah, 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 blah. Just have Erica do it. Just have Erica do it. Just have Erica do it. And I'm like, okay, I get I'm the production assistant, and a production assistant's job is to make the office run smoother and make everybody's job easier. Still, don't take advantage of them. If you have your own assistant, utilize your own assistant. I have my own stuff to do. Anyway. And the other thing with that is I worked unpaid overtime. So because my rate was X amount per week, they couldn't pay me overtime. So I remember this one weekend we had to get hard drives from an editor who shipped it, because I think it was after the shoot, the one where the Disney employee broke my wagon. They wanted it picked up and they didn't have anybody to pick it up. So one of the producers came to me and asked if I could do it. And me being a yes man, I didn't want to say no because I didn't want to look bad, and I always like to say yes, especially at that time in my career when I didn't have a lot in my resume. I just said yes, I did it, and I didn't get paid for it. Not overtime anyway. We negotiated something else, I got 2 free days out of it. I didn't have to come in on Monday or Tuesday, and I would still get paid for my full weekly rate. The drive from Hollywood to LAX was pretty bad. I still got paid mileage, but bottom line, it still wasn't cool that I wasn't paid overtime. And like, it would have been better if like they just had me do that one run, like start my day in Hollywood in the office, go to LAX, pick up the drives, and then drop it off. But they had me stay the entire day and like just keep busy and earn my keep, when really I already fulfilled my 40 hours of that week. Whatever. It was a good experience. This next one was actually my first show with Disney, ABC Studios. On this show, we had the privilege of celebrating 100 episodes. And in this show, there was three of us production assistants, to do this one task. So because we were celebrating 100 episodes, the executives at ABC Studios decided to gift us over 100 beautiful gift baskets. Big picnic baskets with like a nice drink, high quality snacks, orange juice, delicious food. Now I can't remember, but I do remember that it was delicious. I enjoyed it. It was good. And there was over 100 of these. It took like a whole truck to like get them to CBS Radford where we were shooting. Disney shipped them to us, and then there was only 2 of us office PAs assigned to receive them, take them to the table, and distribute them to all of the crew members. And even though there was like at least 3 of us to do it, our supervisor only had 2 of us do it, and it was pretty hard because someone had to drive the golf cart back and forth to the table, and then I was tasked with just making it look pretty, organizing it. And I think we were also starting to like distribute it to the crew members who could only collect it at that time, because everybody's busy. We get it. You have to be somewhere at another time. Pick it up now because I know you won't have the chance to do it later, kind of thing. We actually did pretty well, but there was a few snags. Like I remember someone was like driving the golf cart, and then like they took a turn, and then one of the gift baskets fell. So we lost one. We lost a few. The problem with that was that at the end of the day, we found out that one of the main actors, he didn't get one. And then we only knew that because it was during the time COVID was still a thing. So instead of like having like a meeting celebrating it in person, everybody had to be on Zoom so we could see the window of where each cast member was. And then we noticed that this one cast member was doing a toast with a generic plastic water cup when everybody had like a nice little plastic glass to toast with, because they were included in the nice baskets. So when we noticed that, our producer got pretty mad at us. But the interesting thing is, like, I wasn't called into her office because it was my very first show. I was pretty green. So instead, my coworker, the one I was paired with to distribute these 100 plus baskets, he was the one called into her office, and then she ripped him a new one. When he got out of her office, he only summarized to me that she didn't want to hear it, and then she had to give up her basket. And then I was one who had to actually drive to the cast member's house, drop it off, apologize. And then they were pretty nice about it. It was all good, buried under the hatch, but I still felt bad because she had to give up her nice basket, and she's been with the show for multiple seasons. But all of this could have been avoided if we had another pair of hands. Next to last one. This one's more generic, but there is a specific anecdote to this one. But Hollywood sucked whenever crew members received their lunch and they were missing like a salad dressing. And then they made us office PAs run all the way back to the lunch spot, however far it was, go back and get them their salad dressing, a little cup of salad dressing, and drive all the way back to set to give it to them, because they could not eat their salad with only 2 dressings. They needed all 3. And then the last one is a little bit heavier. Whatever, I was bullied on one of the shows. However you look at it, it's workplace bullying. Believe me, I know, because this job I have now, I had to take a sexual harassment course. One of the segments on that video covered workplace bullying. And then when I was watching it, it got me thinking about this one show where I was bullied, and all the boxes checked off. I wasn't like shoved in the mud or physically or anything, but it was more like this person was just like pretty aggressive verbally to me. They were very intimidating. I'm not an anxious person, but with this person, they gave me anxiety. I remember crying at work one time when this person gave me the task of managing their expense report. I was really busy on the show. There was like 3 of us office PAs, but all 3 of us had enough, if not more, to do. And when I was tasked with submitting their expense report so that we can pay off the card and then get reimbursed for more money for that week, I fudged the bucket on this one. on. There was one week where I didn't submit the expense report in time. We ran out of money and we needed to buy something. And this person, instead of coming to me and saying, all right, we're out of money, how can we figure this out together? You know, they actually were in their office. I was at my desk. They specifically called my desk phone and said, so you didn't submit my expense report at all when I was gone. So you're the reason why we ran out of money, and hung up on me. And I'm like, okay, how does that help me fix the problem? At the end of the day, I submitted the expense report. All was good. We were still able to purchase whatever we needed to because somebody else had a P card that we can use. I get it. I'm supposed to be more on top of things, but it was very unnecessary. A lot of the things that they did was very unnecessary. So after I got that phone call, I don't know why I was so riled up, but I ended up crying and I just ran out of the office. Went downstairs, went outside, and just bawled. Found like a little cozy space in between two grip trucks and then just cried. The next morning when I went to work, this person, they messaged me, hey, can you come into my office? We need to talk. And then I've never done this before, but I actually messaged back and said, I value my mental health and my safety, so I respectfully refuse. And then they were just like shocked and they didn't know what to say. So thankfully they heard me and they respected that and they didn't push it. I noticed after I sent that message, they laid off and they kind of kept their distance. They kept their communication and the way they would act towards me like more tame. I didn't care. I still didn't like this person. I knew that they were pretty shitty and I could see right through that. It's forgivable, but like at the same time, don't do it. Well, let's get off the negative note and let's get on to the more positive ones of when Hollywood slayed. This is where Hollywood slayed and where I thought that they shined the most in my personal experience working in Hollywood. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to name names, but I will give her a shout out. Yvette Nicole Brown, the doll, the queen herself. She tipped me $20 when she didn't have to. I was actually doing a really late run because something costumes didn't get the costumes ready in time or they needed more time to finish, and once they did, it was pretty late. So I had to drive to Yvette Nicole Brown's house at like 10 p.m. Her costumes were pretty heavy because they were made with this really nice material and there was several layers of clothing because she had a few costume changes. So by the time I got to her house and finished, it was already pretty late. It took me like a couple of trips to get from my trunk to her front door. She was really nice. She didn't really open the door. I didn't see her face. During my last trip to her front door, she actually called me back and said, oh, wait, sweetie. Wait, Erica, come here. And then she gave me $20. She had her hand outside of the crack of her door and said, here's $20. Go get yourself some coffee. Thank you so much. And that really made my night because she didn't have to do that. She's so sweet. She knows how hard it is for PAs sometimes. She gave me $20 to get coffee, get food, or whatever. Thank you, Yvette Nicole Brown, if you're watching this. You're amazing. And then the next one also has to do with another celebrity. You guys have seen Coming to America. Frankie Faison. When I worked on the Rookie Feds, Frankie Faison was the dad in the show. On this show, I was actually assistant health and safety manager. So I had an office that I shared with the health and safety manager and my COVID assistant. So whenever we had COVID testing days, which the cast members had to test 3 times a week, Frankie Faison would actually go into our office to test, even though he could have tested at the trailers where the cast members usually test because it was easier for the cast members. We actually try to bring everything to the cast so that they don't have to go out of their way, take up time when they could be like using that time to like rest, eat, get dressed, practice their lines or whatever they need to do. He would actually often COVID test in my office. It would be pretty cool because like he would actually talk to us and he would strike up conversation with us and ask us how we're doing, joke around with us. And I remember this one specific day I came into work. I usually come into work at 9 a.m. and my boss, the health and safety manager, he was like, hey, Frankie Faison was looking for you. And I was like, he was? How? Why? Why would Frankie Faison be looking for me? So I just stayed in my office because I knew he would come back. It turns out Frankie was looking for me because he wanted to give me one of his famous Cuddy Clark granola, which is a bag of granola with his face on it. And I just thought it was really sweet for him to think of me because he brought it specifically for me. And I'm sure he brought more for other crew members, but he specifically came to my office to want to give it to me. And he could have like dropped it off and given it to my supervisor for my supervisor to give to me when I came in, but no, he kept it. He wanted to give it to me himself, and I thought that was really nice. Of all the things he had to do in his busy day, he decided to make time for me. And it was pretty cool. Love that. The third thing, on one of the shows I worked on, we had a really neat costumes department. Not only were they badass women who can sew your gown and coordinate the costumes, but they were also women who cared about curbing the cat population. They went out of their way to go to these animal shelters to get these cages and like coordinate like times to bring in all these cats that we captured in Panorama City. They coordinated appointments for them to be able to take in these cats to get neutered, and then we would release them. They were doing the whole TNR thing, tame, neuter, release. And when I heard about it, I volunteered my guest bathroom in my apartment. I volunteered to take home cages and cages of cats. I keep having a cat hair on my nose. I volunteered to take home cage after cage of cats, store them into my guest bathroom, and then bring them back to work the next day so that they can go to their appointment. I just wanted to do my part, and that's how I contributed. But these women were amazing. They helped curb the cat population because there were a lot of stray cats in Panorama City where we were shooting our show. And the best part is, this is where I got my cat Toothless. I met my cat when he was a kitten. I don't know how old he was, but he was pretty scrawny. And every time I think of him on the streets, alone looking for food, it makes me sad. So I'm happy to have saved a life and provided him a home. I took home a big white cat who was impregnating all the cats. And when we finally neutered him, probably for the best. He wasn't happy in my apartment, but it was a neat experience. It was my first time having a cat in my house. My mom's afraid of cats, so it's really nice. The fourth one is a little bit more generic. I don't really have a specific anecdote for this one. But yeah, I met some of the hardest working people in television. They're such hard workers that they would even work when they were sick, like a really bad sick kind of thing. And I don't want to say what it was, but they still pushed through, and they were known to be the nicest, kindest, and best person at their job. And they still slayed, even with sickness. So go them. And then last but not least, I met some of the nicest people there that taught me a lot. They helped me even though like they didn't even have to. They helped me just to make my job easier because I really appreciated whenever I met people who saw production assistants and recognize us for our hard work and understand that we do a lot of dirty work. We're not afraid to like roll up our sleeves and like put our hand through toilets kind of thing. The best people I met were the ones who would go out of their way to like, for example, transportation people, transpo guys, offering me a ride to and from the production office to wherever I needed to go just to drop off someone's lunch. And I really appreciated that, especially on days when I didn't have the golf cart and I was just on foot. They went out of their way to like contact each other and say, hey, this girl needs a ride, can you take her to 23? Even though like I felt bad for taking them away, they could have been like shuttling like a cast member if they showed up. They still like stayed and did it for me. I'm just an office PA, but those are the times when Hollywood sucked and when Hollywood slayed. Let me know your thoughts. Share some stories of some hardship or your favorite memories of working on set or off set, in front of or behind the camera. And let's share, and I'll see you on the next one.